Welcome to The Scoop, NANP's monthly educational webinar series. I am your host, Andrea Granson, Education Program Specialist for the NANP. These webinars are recorded and everyone who registered will receive a link to the recording. NANP members can earn 1 continuing education credit for participating in Scoop webinars by taking the corresponding quiz, which can be found in the membership area of the NANP website. Today's webinar will conclude with a Q&A session. Please feel free to type in your questions as we go so that we can get to as many as we can at the end of the presentation. Okay, so let's get started. Gwen Warren is a qualified nutritional therapist from the Institute for Optimum Nutrition based in the UK. Gwen is also a qualified fitness instructor and leadership coach. She is registered and accredited with the British Association of Nutritional Therapists and the Complementary and Natural Healthcare Council. Gwen has a reputation for delivering real results and maintaining a strong, supportive membership community in her business coaching by educating nutritional therapists on the practical and technical know-how required to succeed in today's online culture. As a nutritional therapist herself, she's able to translate this into business and financial success and a newfound confidence and income growth for her nutritional therapy clients and nutrition students. Gwen also lectures on social media and online business growth as part of the practice management and business modules within the core curriculum for the ION Nutritional Therapy Diploma and also the ION BSc degree. Welcome, Gwen. Thank you for joining us today, and it's over to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for that introduction, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, it's tonight for me and it's morning for you guys. So I'm going to take you through this webinar, which basically the idea is that I'd like to give you some ideas and some encouragement in terms of how you can actually go from getting ad hoc clients in a sort of drip feeding kind of fashion, which generally seems to be the norm with nutritional therapists when they just start out, to actually getting consistent clients through the door every month by putting together a very, very simple business model. People think it has to be complicated, but it doesn't. And so I'm going to talk you through some of these simple steps you can put in place. So a little bit about, I'm going to run through this very quickly because that introduction was quite comprehensive. So thank you for that, Andrea. So yes, I'm a fitness instructor. I qualified at ION in 2006. I launched a brand called Biting Fit, which was a combination of fitness and health, nutrition, well-being. I'm a lecturer as well, and I've done a lot of work with in the corporate field, corporate well-being. I've launched a lot of online products, a lot of online group programs. I've run wellbeing retreats, and I now work with holistic nutritionists and nutritional therapists delivering one-to-one business coaching and mentoring. And I also have an online monthly membership for business support and resources and training for nutritional therapists. So that's a little bit about me. In terms of what I'm going to go through, we're going to start with money planning because that's absolutely key. You can't hope to get a consistent flow of clients through the door unless you have some financial targets. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Product planning, in other words, what can you actually sell to generate more clients and more income? I'm going to talk through something called the customer staircase. I'm going to go through lead magnets, what they are, why you need them, and how they fit into your business model, and also how that contributes towards building a list. Really, really important. I'm going to talk a little bit about content and how you actually create content that then helps to generate more clients and bringing it all together to turn it all into regular clients. So as I say, I'm going to start with money planning. And the first statement on this slide is control your money or it will control you. My experience in working with nutritional therapists, especially women, is that they don't really have a decent hold over their finances in terms of what they need, what they would like, how to break that down, your budgeting, your spend, your income, and how it all comes together in financial targets. And if you don't have financial targets, you're so much less likely to actually achieve what you want to achieve in your business and actually to see clients come through the door. It's amazing, you know, if you have a target in mind, if you have a figure, it's amazing how that drives you forwards to actually generate more clients every month. So you need to manage your finances with pinpoint accuracy. And the first thing that I like to encourage you to do is actually ask, well, how much do you need each month? And a lot of people tell me how much they'd like to earn each month, but they haven't kind of done the maths around that. So the maths is really important. How much do you actually need to survive? How much would you like to give you extra for extra things, whatever it is that you need and want and desire to give you the kind of lifestyle that you like? And once you've worked all of that out, you can put together a 12-month financial plan. And what I say to people is, you need like a magic figure, your monthly magic figure. So you want an idea of what your gross monthly magic figure, your magic income figure is every single month. Because what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how we actually break that down into how many clients that means you need each month, how many people you need to reach each month, and how many people on your list you need to reach each month to generate your magic figure. So if you don't have a monthly target, you need to set one. That's very much the first thing you need to do, because then what you can do is work backwards. We call it reverse engineering. So you take that figure and you say to yourself, okay, well, I've got, this is just an example, I've got an online course for, I don't know, $100, and my one-to-one services are $300. Therefore, I need X amount of those and X amount of those each month. And then you can set your targets as to how many products of what you can sell each month. So that brings me on to what can you actually sell. So when we are trained as holistic therapists and nutritional therapists, most of us are trained along the lines that we are providing a service, we are selling our time for our money, and that equates to one-to-one services. So it's an exchange, a one-to-one exchange, where we get paid for our time. Now, ultimately, that's not profitable, it's not scalable, and it's very, very difficult to generate the kind of income that's going to grow a successful business, basically. So I always encourage people to look at the one-to-many options that are out there. One-to-many means you're no longer trading your time for money, or introducing products that are actually scalable, and they then become recurring streams of income. And when you do that, what you'll find is that you'll have because ordinarily, if you just work one-to-one with somebody, oftentimes what will happen is we can support them and put in place their nutritional protocol, support them through the program, and and then they disappear and we never see them again. And again, that's not a scalable concept, it's not a scalable model, and it means that you're not going to get recurring income from one client. But when you have several products at different price points, you can actually get recurring income from the same client. And so that's what we're looking to try and achieve. So an example of a product that you can sell that isn't one-to-one and has the one-to-many approach is workshops, for example. Obviously, that's a little bit tricky at the moment, but you can certainly do online webinars and online type of workshops. Events as well. Think about running events. So as I say, one of the things that I run a lot of weekend retreats. They can be very, very profitable. You can do like a one-day mini retreat. I did one called Healthy Menopause Day, that kind of thing. You can also sell lower price products like ebooks, for example, something around the $5 to $10 mark for an ebook. I'm going to go into more detail on some of these things and how they actually fit into your simple model. Online supported group programs, for example, 14-day quit sugar program, for example, or you can, gut cleansing plan or something like that, where you can charge for the actual program and deliver it as a group. which means that it's become scalable because you do the same work whether you're selling that to 10 people or whether you're delivering that to 100 people. And then training courses. So for example, 12-week weight loss training course. So something I did, for example, many years ago was, it was face-to-face. Again, you know, that's not possible at the moment, but it was face-to-face. We met every week, and it was a 12-week weight loss course. And I had about 25 people on the course, and they would turn up each week, and we'd do a couple of hours sessions, and we had guest speakers and things like that. So that's another example of something you can sell. My favorite thing that you can sell as a nutritional therapist, although it does take a lot of time and effort to implement this this into your model, is a membership subscription. Because membership subscriptions are a fantastic way to get recurring monthly income. That's almost guaranteed, you know, once you get your members in and you look after your members. It can be a great way as a nutritional therapist to create a low price point product, but you're working with clients continually over a long time as a group. And then you can actually, from that, you will get a lot of one-to-one client work just from having a membership. So a really nice example. So I'm going to talk about a business model where you can fit some of these things in, which will help to generate you recurring clients through the door every single month, instead of you chasing your next client the whole time. So your simple business model, it's important that it's scalable. That's the number one thing. It has to be scalable. It also needs to be one that will grow your audience, because your audience are basically your potential clients. So anybody you have in your audience, whether that's social media or on an email list, you need to be thinking about them as potential one-to-one clients, which is why you need to look after them. And your simple business model also should allow recurring revenue streams from repeat buyers. So a membership subscription is a good example for that. And also it will allow multiple streams of income. Now, you might even at this stage be starting to feel a bit overwhelmed and thinking, this doesn't sound very simple. Well, these are just lots and lots of different ideas. What I would recommend when you're putting a simple business model in place is you just simply stick to 2 or 3 key signature products. And I call them signature products because they're your products and they're the ones that you focus on. And you can have a business model that works with just 2 or 3 signature products. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then this allows you to charge a premium for your one-to-one program. So if you feel that you're not making much money from your one-to-one programs and packages and consultations, this is it's a good example of why you need to introduce other products at a lower price point first, which will then allow you to charge more for your one-to-one services. So in terms of a funnel, this is a multi-revenue sales funnel. I like to call it a customer staircase. I think that's a bit more friendly and less jargony, and I'll explain why I call it a customer staircase in a minute. But this is what your funnel might look like. So at the top you have a free product, and then you have what we call a no-brainer product price point, and then we get more expensive until at the bottom of the funnel you actually have your premium products. So let's talk about that in a bit more detail, creating a product funnel. Again, it doesn't have to be complicated. Even if you have 2 products in your funnel, it can still work and it can still generate you a lot of consistent clients every month. And I'll give you an example of that in a second. So creating your product funnel is about creating different services at different price points. That should say, well, different price products, yeah, different price points. So a lead magnet. Now, I don't know if you know what I mean by a lead magnet. So let me just explain. A lead magnet is a free product. We call it a high value gift. It's also been known as an ethical bribe, because what you're actually doing is you're producing a free product that ideally is scalable. So not one-to-one, but one-to-many. So a good example is an ebook. I'm going to go into detail, give you lots of examples in a minute. And it's free. So it's a free product that you give away, and you collect people's email addresses from that. And then the next price point is we call it a no-brainer. So this is a product that your clients will buy out of curiosity. So, or they might buy it because they absolutely know they definitely want it. But if somebody hasn't worked with you yet and they're not quite ready to work with you and don't know much about you, they may well be happy to part with sort of $6 to $10 to $50 for a no-brainer product just to explore and get curious about who you are and what you can do for them. And then you have sort of more entry-level price point, which will be $97. So that might be something like an online course, for example, going up to $299, something like that for online programs. These are just examples. I mean, there are online programs out there for, $3,000, $4,000, and there are free online programs out there as well. So these are just examples of price points. And then you've got a higher price product, which you may or may not want to put into your funnel. For me, it was retreats. And then your one-to-one comes after that ordinarily. So generally speaking, when I work with nutritional therapists to start with, their one-to-one model tends to be kind of at the top of their funnel rather than at the bottom, which is normal. It's not necessarily wrong in the early days, but eventually you want to grow and you want to implement this kind of way of working. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about in terms of the customer staircase. So at the bottom of the staircase, the idea of the staircase is that you deliver products and services and communications and connection with your client from the bottom of the staircase to the top of the staircase. You actually take them on a journey. And at the bottom of the staircase is where they are unaware of you. They don't know who you are. They don't know that you exist even. So might not even have brand awareness at that point. And so that's where your lead magnet comes in. It's a little taster of who you are, what you do, how you can help people. And it's free, so that it gives people the chance to download it or access it in however way they would access it. And that, can you see on the right hand side there, you've got attraction, curiosity, commitment, and affinity. So that's the journey that you're trying to take them on. So initially they'll be curious, and that's where the lead magnet comes in. Then once they've downloaded your lead magnet, then you want to look at relationship building. And this is where you say to yourself, anybody who's downloaded my free product from my funnel is a potential one-to-one client. So you've got to look after them. I'm going to talk about how you do that through an email campaign in a minute. And then at the top of the staircase, that's when they're ready to buy your services. So basically, you're trying to generate customer loyalty from the point of unawareness to when they're buying from you over and over again. And 7 to 11 touch points, that's just, so it takes on average 7 to 11 touch points for somebody to have exposure to you before they buy your services. So that's a lot of touch points. So as an example, the first touch point is they might see you on your social media. The second touch point might be that they download your lead magnet. The third touch point might be that they read one of your emails. And then they might not even, follow anything that you do for the next 3 months. And then you'll get another touch point where they might attend one of your webinars or something, and so on, until they've reached 7 to 11 touch points. And that's when they feel that they know, trust, and like you enough to buy your services. So that's why you need to constantly be working on this staircase. And here's another way of looking at it. So at the bottom there, you've got no trust. They don't know you yet. And then a trialist is somebody who has curiosity. And then repeat purchases is where you're starting to build loyalty and trust. So on the right hand side there, you can see that the right hand side indicates your products and your product level. So that gives you an example of, so that on the right hand side would be an example of a 3 product funnel. One being the free lead magnet, the second being a low price point purchase, and then the third being a higher price point purchase. So all the way you're trying to build trust. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on lead magnets, because there are many many ways of creating lead magnets. They are really, really important thing to work on, because they come at the top of your funnel. People think it's hard to sell one-to-one services, which it can be if you're going in cold. But if you put a funnel in place and you put most of your effort and your work and your time into your lead magnets and into nurturing those potential clients and looking after them, then actually converting them into sales becomes so much easier. So lead magnet, as I say, ethical bribe or minimal viable product. Also, it's called high value gift. I like the term high value gift, because that basically explains what it is. It's a free gift of high value. So it's really used to test your audience. So in the first instance, especially if you're just starting out, you might not know who your target market is. And this is a great way to find out who are interested in what you have to offer. So you can create a lead magnet to actually test the water with your audience. So then you need to think about, well, what can I create? What is this free product going to be that's going to be the top of my funnel, that's going to help me generate consistent clients through the door every month? It's all about testing your brand, your purpose, your passion, and your unique message. So all of those things, whatever your lead magnet is, all of those things need to be clear in your lead magnet. So for example, if you're creating an ebook, a little ebook, give a chapter on who you are. Who are you? What's your story? How did you get into this? What's your passion? And what's your unique message for your clients? Okay, so here's some examples. So recipe books, they make great lead magnets. I find, however, that they need to be a little bit more than recipe books for them to be popular downloads. So usually they need to include a shopping list or some guidance notes, or especially if you have a target market. So let's say you have a target market on gut health. You would want to create some recipes in support of gut health, but also in that ebook you might want to put in some chapters about the different kinds of issues you can have with gut health, foods that are harmful, why they're harmful, how it can affect your energy levels. So a bit of an education as well. Another great lead magnet is menu plans. I'm finding more and more that menu plans are the most popular form of download for nutritional therapists. I'm going to talk about menu plans again in a second, and how you can create a product from menu planning really easily. A mini online program with shopping list, etc., is quite a good free lead magnet. One of the ways you can run a mini online program is by doing a free challenge. For example, if you launch a free challenge on a Facebook group, one of my nutritionists, she's running a 21 days to sugar-free freedom challenge at the moment, which is a nice kind of lead magnet. Actually, I think hers is an online course, but that kind of thing, if you did it over 7 days, 27 days to sugar freedom would be a nice lead magnet. Downloads, fact sheets, check sheets, those kinds of things. They're useful, but I don't find them, they generate as many downloads as something like a menu plan or recipe books, for example, or mini challenges. Challenges are really great. And then signature monthly workshops and talks. I just want to give you an example here of something. So when a few years back, I had a signature monthly workshop. I ran it at the same venue every single month, and it was free. And I would advertise it wherever, on social media and at the venue itself, etc., etc. And I would say I had about initially 25 to 30 people, 25 to 30 new potential clients coming every single month to that free signature workshop. My conversion rate at the workshop was 30%, 30 to 40%, in fact. And that's a classic example of where, there's even no in-between product there. There was just a free monthly workshop. I consistently ran it every single month, got new people to come along. So I advertised it every month. and I turned them into one-to-one clients, and because I got a 30 to 40% conversion rate. And that alone was enough to start building a great salary. And there's no complicated other products going on in there. It was just that I stuck to that consistency of delivering this signature talk every single month. You could do an online webinar in a similar way. So you could have a signature online webinar that's for your target market. The difficulty is, you need to spend time investing either money or time or both on advertising these things and marketing these things through your social media, through your email list, etc., so that every month you have a new client base. So I've already given an example. Free 5 to 7 day online challenge would make a really great lead magnet. One of the most successful challenges that I ran was so simple. It was called the Biting Fit Water Challenge, and it's probably to date the most successful online challenge that I've done, and my conversion rate was huge after that in terms of upselling my one-to-one services from it. It was so simple. They just had to drink 4% of their body weight every single day, and I gave tips and support and guidance every single day throughout. They had downloads and examples of how to make your water tasty, and what was hydrating, what wasn't hydrating, how to calculate sweat rate, that kind of thing. So even something simple as water can really generate you some great clients. Live Q&A sessions via Zoom. Zoom is a great, provides us with an opportunity as a great lead magnet, because if you have Zoom Pro, which is the paid version, you can actually collect people's emails. So you can organize live Q&A sessions and collect emails for that. Video series. You could drip feed let's say 3 to 5 video series through your emails or on social media. So that could be along a theme. It could be, I don't know, let's say you're a specialist in PCOS. So it could be a 7-part video series on how to improve your PCOS, something like that. And each video might be something like, I don't know, 3 minutes maybe to 20 minutes, no more than that. One-to-one example could be a free taster session or a health check, something like that. So with an ebook, just a few quick things here. If you are creating an ebook, you have to give it a compelling title. So an example of one of my coaching clients at the moment, she did 21 days to sugar freedom. Very, very compelling, and it's very clear who that's for and what it does. You need compelling imagery, it needs to be on trend, and you need to make sure it's branded as well. And easy to download, that's really important. If they have to end up going, from social media to your website, then finding the right page on your website, then finding the link, they're not going to download it. So really it needs to be easy to download. So a simple opt-in box. And it needs to add value. So I've already said this needs to be a high value gift. So how does that add value to somebody's life? And this is why if it's just a check sheet or, a basic info sheet, for example, they don't necessarily add value. People don't feel that they're getting a lot of value from those things. So it needs to be your best content. So those are some ideas. So again, it could be an ebook. You could launch an ebook and sell it for, okay, my internet has just said it's unstable. So I'm hoping you can still hear me.
We can, yeah, we can hear you, Gwen. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, okay. You could charge just sort of $5, $6, something like that for an ebook, especially if it's a menu plan with shopping list, etc., etc. Although there are a lot of free ones out there now, so that's a decision you can make. Short online group program, for example. So 21 days to sugar freedom is a great example. A health MOT check. So that might be where you perhaps review someone's food diary and you look at what nutrients they're lacking in or something like that. But it's just a very brief session rather than a full-blown consultation. Food diary analysis is another example of a sort of $40 to $50 product. Now, this is where I wanted to talk to you about some software. So you could do a basic personalized 1 week menu plan. Now, one of my other coaching clients, she has just launched a no-brainer price point product where she's doing personalized 1-week menu plans for people. TCL stands for That Clean Life. Now, That Clean Life, if you're not aware, is amazing meal planning software. And it's really the most amazing thing to help you monetize meal planning. You can create any kind of meal plan literally in minutes. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but if you'd like to find out more about That Clean Life, I think you're going to get an email and the slides for this webinar, and we can give you the link for a webinar that I did with That Clean Life to give you an example of how it works and how you can use menu planning to create some of these products. And also there's an offer there as well, I think. So if you're interested in that software, then yeah, that we can give you the link for that. But that's really, really great for creating no-brainer price point products. Audio downloads. People don't really think about audio downloads for nutritional therapists, but it's still, you know, you could still create a series of downloads instead of, say, launching a whole full-blown podcast that's educational for people. So that's something that's quite useful. And also, again, signature monthly workshop. If you didn't want to do that for free, you could run that. Again, it could be a webinar, not necessarily a workshop. You could run that for, say, $15 to $25, something like that. And that's your entry level product. So this brings us to how to grow your list. Now, the whole point of having a lead magnet is so that you capture people's emails, and then once you've got their emails, they are your potential clients, because it's a high commitment action when they actually say, yes, I'd really like to give you my email so that I can download your lead magnet. So once they're in your list, what do you do with them? How do you then turn them into recurring monthly clients? So basically, your list is a CRM system, customer relationship management tool. So this is where you're using something like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft to actually create emails and collect, to automate your email system and do what we call nurture your potential clients. So first of all, you need to know where to find your ideal client. And when you know where to find them, that's the kind of place you need to be launching your lead magnet. I'm going to give you an example. So one of my other clients, she wants to specialize in diabetes. She has created a lead magnet called, now what's it called? It's a really great title. Your Diabetes Diagnosis, a Blessing or a Curse. How to improve your life, something like this. How to improve your life through changing your diet once you've got your diagnosis. And she has found a supplement company who creates supplements purely for the diabetic market, and she's contacted them and said, can I write an article for your audience, and also can I offer them my free download to grow my list? And they've said yes, and they have thousands and thousands and thousands of people on their list that they are now going to promote her lead magnet to. So that's a great example of how to get lots of people on your list quickly. And then you need to learn how to use a CRM tool. That's really important. And then you need to engage and nurture them through your list. So how do you actually do that? Okay, so so that last point is capture emails face-to-face and online, wherever you are. So how do you actually nurture them? So I just want to say something. Email lists are not about numbers. People think it's about numbers, but it's not. It's all about engagement and connection. You can have a list of thousands, but if they're not engaged, you will generate minimal sales from that list. But if you have a small engaged list, so let's say your open rate is 50% and you have 500 people on your list, that's 250 people opening your email list, opening your emails on a regular basis who can become your potential clients. And even if you just converted 10% of those 250 people into one-to-one high ticket clients, then you can really generate a decent income. So this is an example for, where numbers aren't always important. So get to know your audience and get to nurture them. So here are the 7 keys to building a profitable list. Number 1 is content. I've put it 3 times there because it's so important. I'm going to talk about content in a minute. I'm going to go into detail. Know where to find your ideal clients. I've already just kind of mentioned an example of that. Have a social media strategy. Okay, so have a strategy for promoting your lead magnet so you actually capture people in the first place in a strategic and structured way. And then you engage and nurture. Be consistent and show up regularly. So ideally, you want to be emailing your list once a week, but once a fortnight is fine. And even once a month is still consistent. And it's consistency is the key. So once you have a small list, you want to start nurturing them. And this list, you don't want to when you get them to sign up, you don't want to call it a newsletter. Newsletter is old school, it's boring, and it puts people off. It really puts people off. They think they're going to get spammed. So before you promote anything to your list, you need to be giving value. And this really is about sharing tips, guidance, recipes, all that kind of thing. And also share your news, share a little bit about you, create some new downloads, fact sheets that you can send to them. Share the link to your latest blogs. Every time you do something on social media, your list may not have seen it. So share the link to that blog or that Facebook Live or whatever it is to your list. And so this is all about nurturing them so that they become one-to-one clients, because you are addressing those 7 to 11 touch points. So just a little bit about content. Content is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract, connect, and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. And it's the connection that you're looking for, and that's why your content has to be of high value that connects with people. How do you connect with people? You make them feel like you are in their brain. And I want to go into that and explain what I mean by that, because they will be saying things like, I feel like you know me, I feel like you get me, and I feel like you understand. And they'll be saying things like that when you truly understand their pain points and their problems, and you're solving their problems for them. So any of your downloads, tips, guidance, things like that, if you're solving problems with your tips and guidance, they will start to feel like you really understand them. And that's when they will become a client. So this is things like social media, sharing something about you, one-liners, even one image can be classed as content if it's a valuable message that you're getting across. PDFs, ebooks, blogs, articles, questionnaires work really well through email, webinars, workshops, that kind of thing. Now, I have a download for you which accompanies this webinar, which is a 7-step email nurture campaign. So that kind of ties everything up that I've been talking about in terms of, it gives you some examples of the kind of content to put in your emails so that you connect with your audience so they become one-to-one clients. So the simple business model then, because that's what this is about. This is bringing it back to the simple business model. So you would have a regular free offering or offerings. I totally recommend that you don't only have one free offering, you have several. Obviously, they take time to create, and they take time to build, and they take time to promote. So in the early days, don't worry so much about having loads. Just have the one to start with and work with that and build up to more free offerings, because that's where you have to put your energy. The most of your energy is in the top of your funnel, not in the bottom. And then what that does is it feeds new prospects into your list. You then will nurture your list, and you can then upsell a promotion of, what I mean by upsell is basically once you've nurtured your list and looked after them and given them some free valuable content, you can upsell your first no-brainer price product. And then all those people who buy your no-brainer price product, you can upsell them into your one-to-one programs. Each upsell should be structured and planned. And if you structure this and plan this over a timeline, basically that that means that that's where the consistent clients come through the door each month, because you know what you're promoting each month and what your conversion rate is. Eventually you'll understand what your conversion rate is. It's very different online to offline. So offline for me, it was 30 to 40%. Online, it's more like 10%. The average is more like 3%. So this is where you need to be saying to yourself, okay, well, if 3%, if I can convert 3% of my list to buy my no-brainer price product, or more than that even, and then X% to buy my one-to-one programs, how many do you need to be selling each month to hit your magic figure? That's what we're aiming for here. So I gave you the example before of how I used to run a monthly workshop every single month, and I'd literally just upsell my high ticket one-to-one services from that. So you might want to promote your free offering once a month, every month, and then 6 times a year, for example, promote your no-brainer price product. And that might generate you then the one-to-one sales. And the sales should happen organically. You shouldn't feel like you're really pushing to get one-to-one clients if you do steps 1 to 8 thoroughly, properly, in a planned and structured manner. And so this brings it all back to money. So it comes back to your monthly figure. What is that monthly figure, and how many one-to-one clients and no-brainer price point products do you need to sell to hit your monthly figure each month? So you work backwards and you break it down. How many no-brainers? How many talks? What's your conversion rate? And if you don't have a clue what your conversion rate is, start with an estimate, because even if you get your estimate wildly wrong, at least it gives you something to aim for, and it gives you targets, and you absolutely need targets. And eventually you'll find out what's realistic. So how many people do you need to reach each month, and how many emails do you need to capture every month? So that kind of, let me just go to the previous slide. So that kind of wraps up this webinar in terms of building that simple model and creating some simple products, no more than 2 or 3. You can make it more as complicated as you like, and that's fine, but you've got to stick to what works for you. And I'm all about simplicity. Sometimes a lot of the time you can make more money the more simple you keep things. And that's why I encourage simple business models and a simple promotional timeline. So, the idea about promoting your no-brainer price point product 6 times a year, for example, and if that's all structured and you promote that, you have a series of emails or a series of videos or a series of social media posts that promote that over a 1-week period once a month, for example, and you do the same thing each month, then it just keeps it really simple. So that brings me to the end of the webinar for simple models and getting consistent clients through the door, rather than doing things in an ad hoc way, sporadic, and as we like to say, it stops you from throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks. This is a great way to actually, I've just realized I've spelled nutritionist wrong in my title there. It's a really great way to put some structure together for your business, so you can actually start to see a consistent number of clients through the door each month. So I just wanted to talk to you about my membership, which is my low price point product for holistic nutritionists and nutritional therapists. It's a support hub where we have resources and training, and I'm going to go through some of the features that we have in the membership. We have monthly guest speakers. We now have accountability meetup groups. So I assign everybody to an accountability meetup group if they want to, and you can meet every week or every fortnight or every month on Zoom according to how your group wants to work. I do monthly coaching calls, including one-to-one sessions. So you get a one-to-one hot seat with me if you want, to help give you some laser coaching on direction and clarity on where you want to take your business. We also have video trainings on a regular basis, and there are new trainings uploaded all the time. And I give lots and lots of technical support especially on things like, you know, lead magnets, creating sign-up boxes, promotional tech, that kind of stuff, because it does hold a lot of people back. You also get discounts and offers from key suppliers, because I negotiate a lot of deals with suppliers for my membership. Then we also work through something called the 12-month growth framework. The 12-month growth framework it's like a mini online course, and it's great because it's really for people who are busy, who are overwhelmed, but still want to make some kind of progress on their business without spending hours and hours and hours every single week pulling their hair out. So the 12-month growth framework, we have a different focus every single month, and everybody gets a mini task every week. And that task, it should take you no more than 30 minutes to 1 hour a week. And you don't have to do it, but lots of people opt out of the tasks if they're too overwhelmed, and then they join in when they can. But it gives people progression. That's the important thing. It takes people forward step by step. There's also weekly accountability, full access to me for Q&As. We do lunch and learn sessions. We have discounts on events and resources, plus lots of free products as well. It's hugely supportive, uplifting, and it's a really wonderful, wonderful community. And it's in line with my values as well, about connection and community. So yeah, really supportive environment. Now, the doors only open 3 times a year. I take enrollment 3 times a year. And at the moment, the doors are shut. The next enrollment will be in September. And at the moment, it's $25 a month, and there's no commitment. You can leave at any time you like. But from September, it's going up to $34 a month. Now, if you join the waiting list, you will get access, even in September, you will get access to the membership for $25 a month still. There'll be a small window of time, I think it's going to be 48 hours, where everyone on the waiting list gets a notification, and you've got 48 hours to sign up to still get it at the lower price point before price goes up. Anyway, so that's available for nutritional therapists. And here's just some feedback for you. If you're thinking that this might sound like for you, but you're not quite sure, here's a little bit of feedback. So I won't read them all out, but I'll read a couple. You've helped me so much in getting here, Gwen. Things are finally starting to come together. Thank you so much for your support and guidance. Being part of the hub community, having structure and challenges has really helped me, and that's a really important thing for me, that everyone has structure. It's not just a free-for-all membership with just random trainings. It actually has progression. I've done things I'd never have the courage to do otherwise. You can tell Gwen really cares. It's not just a job. I mean, it's a lovely thing to say, and it's a lovely community. Thank you so much. You're the inspiration for this. Without this group, I'd never have done this in a million years. I've just recently graduated from C&M. I've always loved Gwen's posts and Facebook Lives, how real and generous she is with live free education. When I had the opportunity to join, it was a no-brainer. And just one final page there. Thank you, thank you. Since being in the hub, my motivation is so much more consistent, and the clients are coming thick and fast. And that's the kind of comment that makes my heart sing, and that's what it's all about. I just want results for people. So thank you for the inspiration and your constant enthusiasm, and for upping our game. So yeah, there we go. That's some of the feedback for you. So my contact details, gwen@gwenwarren.co.uk for any questions and queries. Now I have a free Facebook group with 1,500 nutritionists in it, and there's lots of free resources that you have access to. So that's Grow Your NT Business Online. So that's Facebook. And then to sign up to the waiting list, if you want to join the membership in September, or you're thinking about joining the membership in September at the lower price of $25 a month, you can leave at any time, then you'll find the waiting list at gwenwarren.co.uk. And you'll also find out lots more information about the membership on that website link, gwenwarren.co.uk, with some more detail. And that's my contact number. So that's it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. I love it when people show up live. So I'm going to hand it back over to Andrea to go through some questions.
Fantastic, Gwen. Thank you so much. I don't know if you saw in the chat box there, I was just trying to interpret some of our British acronyms. So MOT, if anyone wants to know what that is, it's what the word that we use in the UK for when we run an annual vehicle check. But sometimes we use it interchangeably when we're talking about a little health check. And of course, people called out the, well, I called it TLC, but it's That Clean Life for Business. Yes, it is fantastic. I actually did a webinar with Ashley about 3 months ago. So if there are any NAMP members listening, they are welcome to go to the NAMP archive. You can listen to the recording where Ashley goes completely over the big overview of That Clean Life. It is a great program. And then a couple of questions here. So Gwen, do you have partners in the US? Because you just mentioned in your membership sort of the discounts and things. Are all your partners in England or Europe?
No, so I have partners in the US. So I have That Clean Life and Practice Better.
Oh, right, fantastic. Yeah.
So I actually have I have discount codes with Practice Better. And also the thing about the membership is I generally say to people, if there's something you want or a product that you love and you want some kind of discount or some kind of offer, then it doesn't take that much for me to negotiate with that company, and then they're all in, and we get them in and guest speakers and all the rest of it. So yes, I have partners in the US.
Fantastic. And in fact, you mentioned Better Practice. I'm thinking of reaching out and seeing if they would like to do a webinar too, because I think it's a great great piece of software. And then the calls that you do, the meetup times. So the times, do you?
Yes. So the calls are they vary each month, so that it gives lots of people lots of chance to attend. So generally speaking, they will be available so that US people can attend live. Everything is recorded anyway. But because the time difference actually works for me, if that makes sense. So you're 5 hours behind and I prefer to do things later. So so you can attend those if you're in the US, no problem.
Okay, fantastic. So like similar to what we're doing now, 11 a.m. Pacific, I think that's 12 CST. And so, yeah, that would work fantastic for us. And Christine's asked, is this for certified nutrition specialists or only NTs? I can tell you that it's open to both. Yeah, okay. So let me just see if there's any other questions here. I don't see any other questions. I wanted to ask you, Gwen, about advertising, because you mentioned that briefly. Do you use and recommend Facebook for people just starting out, or should we sort of start with social media and maybe even
so it really is going to depend on your audience, because some audiences migrate better to Instagram, for example. Others are more prevalent on Facebook. What I would say about Facebook advertising is that it's become more and more expensive. So that's why I'm a great fan of generating your audience organically. Facebook ads can work though, if that you want to promote a lead magnet, for example. It's quite a good way to promote a lead magnet. But in terms of selling a paid product, like an online course or something that you're actually selling, I don't believe the results are effective enough to warrant doing that, really. And when you generate your own content and connect with your audience through content, through social media content or blogs or whatever it is, videos, Facebook Lives, I find that it's much easier to build an audience that way than actually paying for adverts. If that kind of answers your question. But yes, to promote a lead magnet, if it's got a compelling title and a compelling image, then a Facebook advert can be a really great way of promoting that, as can an Instagram advert as well.
Right, of course, Instagram ads. And then you mentioned in your membership that you offer tech support. And I think, well, speaking for myself, I think that alone is going to be great value for a lot of people, because that's where we can get stopped, isn't it? Where we think, right, I don't know what to do, I don't know. And they've got those sort of technical challenges. Also from just watching the webinar here today, I think, you know, joining a membership site, you get the opportunity to learn how to run a membership site. So even if you're thinking, yeah, right, if you're thinking, well, I know how to do all these things, you can say, but I would like to grow a membership site. Perhaps I join Gwen and see how she does it, and how can I, you know, do the same, because you want to model something that somebody has already done. Let me just see, I think there may be another question.
Yeah, so I've heard the algorithms on Facebook don't make it worth it. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that, really. I just think it's, so we had a guest speaker on the other day. She specializes in Facebook ads, and she showed us a way that was fairly simple and fairly straightforward of how we could spend not too much and generate some good results. But I wouldn't emphasize using Facebook ads as a regular part of your strategy. I know some people might disagree with that, but it depends what your business is. But for nutritional therapists, I think you are much better off creating content.
Yeah. And I like what you said, though. It's great, you know, if you are going to do it for a lead magnet, because of course a lead magnet, from the consumer's point of view, they're signing up for something free. They don't feel like they're being sold to, because of course Facebook is a social media platform and people generally don't want to be sold to there. Fantastic, Gwen. Well, that brings us to the end, everybody. So what I will be doing, it will go out tomorrow, the recording, because I have to get the intro and outro added, but I will share all of the links that Gwen has, including an attachment to her download. So that will go out tomorrow. So that brings us to the end of our discussion. Thank you very much, Gwen. I know it's the evening time for you, but I want to thank everybody for coming. Yeah, thank you. So next month's presentation will be targeted nutrition therapies that support metabolic balance and cognitive function with Dr. Leslie Korn. So please mark your calendars for Thursday, August the 13th. Until then, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much, Gwen. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you.
Bye-bye.